Hi everyone, UB's Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with a quick video on Real Housewives of Potomac Reunion Part 4. Reunion Part 4 is, for me, the part we was really waiting for. Why? Because we all knew and were waiting for Nicki Minaj to come on, right? And Nicki was promising, or the little snippets they was giving us, it was promising that Nicki was going to come and bring the heat to the ladies. I felt like personally it was okay. And maybe I thought it was okay because I was so used to, over the years, Andy's style of questioning, right? So Andy will ask them a difficult question and the ladies will be in the heat of the moment, and then they will try to figure out a way to answer that question. I felt with Nicki, they wasn't going to get emotional about the questions she asked them because it was Nicki. And I also felt like they kind of really sort of didn't even answer her questions. And I think they laughed a lot of it off. They thought it was like a big joke. And, you know, they were kind of just like having fun with a girlfriend. It was like when one of your girlfriends asks you a difficult question and you don't want to answer, you're like, huh, girl, whatever. And you start laughing. I felt it was a lot of that. They came hard at Candace. And when I say they, I mean Reunion Part 1, 2, 3, and 4. I feel like they just beating. Candace got a beat down, and Part 4 was no different. So Nicki kept asking her to sing a little snippet of her song Drive Back, and Candace really didn't want to do it, and she wanted her to sing it because, you know, she accused, like everyone else, of Candace using auto-tune for her song. And quite frankly, there's not too many people, in my opinion, in this day and age right now who doesn't use some type of enhancement when doing their songs. Not too many of them. When you go to the concert, whether they are, you know, rapping or whatever, don't have like a lot of enhancement. They're not these performers that we used to see way back in the day, like, you know, a Michael Jackson, who would moonwalk across the floor and knew the words to all of his songs and was actually singing his songs. Okay, you don't get too much of that authentic performance anymore. A lot of times now you pay all this money to go to the concert and you're hearing pre-recorded and they're just kind of dancing to it, but they're not literally dancing and singing if they are, you know, a R&B, you know, performer. And yes, maybe the rappers do dance and perform, but it's not like they sound exactly like, you know, the radio version or the downloaded version. So to Candace's defense, for me, I can understand wholeheartedly why, you know, she had some hesitation as to why she didn't want to sing. One, that reunion is chopped up in 4 parts for us, but they do that in one whole long day. So Nicki Minaj, the way we see it, I don't know if that's the way it truly happened. She was at the tail end of their day. So imagine, here it is, maybe you're 10 hours in, or you're 9 hours in, you're in this dress. And you know, ladies and everyone, when you go out and you've been out for a certain amount of hours and you've been in this dress, maybe that, you know, you had to get zipped in and whatever else the case may be. And maybe you got, you know, Candace is a nice size, but you never know. Maybe you got Spanx on or whatever. You just can't wait for and your high heels. You can't wait for the day to be over so you can pluck those shoes off, get out of that dress and put on something comfy. But now here it is, your tail end of a 9-hour, 10-hour day, and someone saying, hey, sing that song. Of course she had a little hesitation, but what did her fellow castmates do? They're egging her on and they're telling her, yeah, come on, sing. This is going to help your career. You know what, Giselle? So messy, but whatever. And finally, we got a little something out of Candace, and she sung part of her song and she sounded fine. And Andy came out and said, listen, girlfriend, and of course I'm paraphrasing, He said, I'm so proud of you. Her husband was pissed. And he was pissed because he didn't like the line of questioning. And I do get it. Everyone gives her husband, Chris Bassett, a very, very hard time. But they don't help their own situation. Both of them are social media disasters. Both of them need a publicist that is really going to help them get their whole life together on social media. There's rumors floating around that perhaps Candace is, fighting for a job or may lose her job. This whole season really was on Candace and Wendy's back. So how could either of those two ever be in the same sentence with the word fire is beyond me. Candace deserves to stay because at the very least, she participated in this season. And if anybody has to be fired, I'm not going to name a name, but I will say this: Candace and Wendy should not be on the list. So Nicki goes a little at Wendy because Wendy allegedly, kind of peeked at the cards while Nicki, I guess, went to the bathroom. I don't know what happened, or they had a break or whatever. And so Nicki was like, that's rude. And, she said, the other lady said, nah, she didn't tell us about any of the questions, whatever the case may be. Here's the thing. She looked at the questions, and I say to that, so what? Does it really matter? Because none of them really fully answered any questions. I thought it was a lot of stuff that, I was just like, it was nothing that I wanted to hear. And like I said, I was waiting for this moment. And for me, it was a big letdown. The whole thing between if they would have married their husband, if the same man, if they would have had $100 million, I was like, really? Wasn't here for that question. The whole thing with Juan actually being friends with Michael, and why would he be friends with Michael knowing that Michael, I guess, is attracted to Juan? I thought that was like not relevant either. I'm like, what does it matter? If Juan is mature enough to be friends with someone, despite the fact that he knows that this man either likes to joke or maybe he really likes him, bravo to Juan for being able to still be friends, with Ashley's husband, Michael. So she asked Giselle and Robin if they having some type of relationship or do they like each other. Listen, to me, all of the questions were kind of like backed by jokes. So it made it seem like it wasn't serious. And if you're going to throw a serious question out there, keep it on the serious note and allow them to actually answer the questions. But I felt like it was really just a couple of girlfriends in the living room kind of chatting and like not really responding or giving us any answers to some very serious questions that were thrown out there. Nicki spoke to Mia. I don't even, it was about the whole strip club thing. Was she a stripper? Wasn't she a stripper? Guess what? I could care less. It didn't really bother me. She pretty much, I don't even think she had a question for the Grand Dame. But it's no secret that the Grand Dame is pretty much Nicki Minaj's favorite. And did she say something to Wendy? I think, she asked Wendy about her husband following the Instagram models and does she know, doesn't she know, does she care? And Wendy claimed like she didn't care. But let's be clear, Wendy wholeheartedly cares, because not too long before that question, Wendy says she has the passcodes to all of her husband's, information and social media sites, but then she claimed she doesn't know who he follows or doesn't follow or whatever. Here's my thing with Wendy. I don't dislike Wendy. I just think that Wendy needs to change her approach. I think Wendy is trying too hard. Instead of her letting her organic self just show and come through, I think she's trying to push a narrative and make herself seem as something she's not. And I think Wendy may not know it, but Wendy's good enough. She's smart enough. She definitely, does her job to try to keep her place on the show. Whether we like the job that she's doing or not, at least she's participating and trying to do something versus, and listen, over all the seasons, I always was one of those like, don't fire Robin. Don't fire Robin. We need a kind of like a diverse group of personalities on the show. Everybody doesn't have to be rah-rah. But I'm really starting to feel that Robin is taking advantage of all of our the Robin fans' generosity. I feel like she thinks she can just now show up to a scene and do absolutely nothing and still get paid. And so, like I said, I think she spoke to Robin, but only about this idea that her and Giselle, are more than just friends. Here's the thing, people. When they asked about did they share a hotel room, did they not? Did they ever share a bed together? I mean, when you have good girlfriends, okay, or good friends, period, whether the friend is a male or a female, whatever, you can be in the bed together and nothing happens. Who the freak cares? You can get a hotel room together and share a hotel room. Like, the conversations to me was just, it wasn't what we needed to know. I think what I would have asked Robin if it was me, are you and Juan ever going to get married? And why would you, in this stage in your life, even consider having a baby before you got married? That's what I would say. And I will also ask, why does Juan seem to not want to participate in not us scene with you, like ever? And is he ever, and will he ever show up to a reunion? And what if this is what I would have asked her, what if we focus the reunion around one of his days off? Would he come then? And I would say the same thing to Ashley. If we could focus or go to your house and or mic up your home, so that way he doesn't even have to leave his house, and speak to him from his home when we're doing a reunion. Will he participate then? Because it seems like Juan and Michael will never ever be seen at a reunion ever again. What would I ask Giselle? I would have said, Giselle, look, I understand, you're beautiful. And I understand that, dating is dating. And I do think that with dating, it's a roll of the dice. Some people get extremely lucky. Some people just never seem to have luck. So I would say to Giselle, did you ever think about maybe doing one of those dating websites and trying that out? Or seeing if you have a friend of a friend that can maybe set you up on a blind date or a date or whatever the case may be. I would just ask her questions like that. We are exhausted with the questions about her home. I think the fact that she has this home, had to remodel it pretty much from the bottom up, I think it's a great thing. And I think it's a beautiful thing that she's doing for her children. It was kind of like full circle, because when we first got introduced to Giselle, and not that I'm saying anything is wrong with it, we seen Giselle go from what I believe was an apartment to now she has this beautiful home. It's a great thing. And that's what I would have asked Giselle. Wendy is Wendy. I think we kind of exhausted the questions with Wendy too. The reason behind why she got that body done, do I care? No. I would just say this. The rumors, seem to have circled around you wanted to get your body done to keep your husband. And I would just say, yeah, sure, and hopefully most women know, but let's talk to everyone that's watching and you. If a man no longer wants you, you can go from an A cup to a D cup and a flat booty to a big booty. But if he no longer wants you, none of that is going to make him stay. Karen, the Grand Dame, she's the Grand Dame. I would have just said, is there anything else you want to tell us about your expanding empire? And I would have wished her well. Mia is Mia. The only thing I would have said to Mia is, because, Mia is slinging around rumors that she doesn't want to come back. And I would have just said to Mia, for your first season, it wasn't bad. Mia did not do bad for her first season. I think that when outsiders come into a reality show, they all think like, it won't be me. I'll do better. I won't be in the gutter and down dirty like that. And it's not till they get in the midst of the party do they see like, oh, in order for me to survive in this environment, I'm going to have to get a little gutter. I'm going to have to get a little grimy. I'm going to have to bring a little heat, or else one, I won't get asked back next season, and two, they're going to drag me for filth knowing that I am so weak that I won't say anything. So listen, that was my recap on the Real Housewives of Potomac Reunion Part 4 with Nicki Minaj. Do I think that Andy should share his seat again for the next reunion? Or do I think she should take over, period? No, I don't think she should take over, period. Do I think she should get a whole segment? I think she can get a whole segment again, but only if she's going to stick to her tough questions and wait till the ladies physically answer that tough and difficult question. Thanks, guys, for watching. Chat with me in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on Reunion Part 4 with Nicki Minaj. Will you be watching next season? I'm going to check them out. This season wasn't bad, but I'm going to tell you this. I think all the reality shows, they're starting to blend into one. It's starting to be the same thing with different castmate names and just a different franchise, but it's like the same stuff being recycled over and over again. Waiting to see what's going to happen on this season of RHOA. And again, I will give Potomac, another go around, but they don't have my interest and my attention the way they used to have it a while back. But I'm hanging in there with them, and we shall see. Chat with me in the comments, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.